Hi there, good evening. My name is Dani Henderson. Welcome back to my channel. This channel covers UFOs, aliens, and corruption in all its ways, all its imaginable ways, known and unknown, seen and unseen. Things that happen in your government, in your medical industries, in your health industries, in your militaries. I'm going to share a story with you today, something I actually experienced at Camp Pendleton, which is an actual massive military Air Force base, land base, sea base, military base that is a lot of underground there. It is in San Diego, California. I lived in San Diego for a lot of years, and I saw something absolutely incredible there in terms of alien and technology. I'm going to share that with you. Before I get to that, I want to let you know that the book I put out last year, Angels, Demons, and Aliens, has a ton of my own personal experiences as a contactee with good ETs, demons, not very good, and beautiful, beautiful angels, and beautiful benevolent aliens. Now, I'm writing the second one. And I'm going to invite some of you to be in it with me. It's time we told our stories. It's time that you had a voice too. We don't all need YouTube channels. Some of us are never going to get around to doing that. So I'm going to invite some of you to send me a chapter, one chapter of an actual experience that you've had. Angels, demons, aliens, ghosts, paranormal. No fantasies, please. Everything must be 100% true and grounded. That's the only way I will operate and work with anyone. Has to be truth. It's time for full disclosure in all its ways. So if you want to send a chapter of an experience that you had, or you'd also like to email me and potentially come on my channel and share your story on my channel like this, a conversation with me, then you need to email info@galacticspiritualinformers.com. That email will also take you to our beautiful website where we host every year the greatest disclosure on the planet in full disclosure conference, full rebellious disclosure. We don't hide, we don't stop, and we certainly don't censor. Obviously, we can't put everything out online that we'd like to because of the policing and the censorship at our conference, which is called Galactic Spiritual Informers every year. It'll be completely uncensored, of course. It is in Westminster, which is a town in Colorado, and details are at galacticspiritualinformers.com. Okay, now it was around 2004, and I was driving from Dana Point to back down to San Diego. I'd met an uncle and aunt for lunch in Dana Point and was driving back, I would say probably around 7 at night, pitch black. I believe it was around July. And I was driving an ML 350 and was alone. And it's quite a long journey from Dana Point on your own. And when you come to an area, it's called Camp Pendleton. It is a very, very well-known military base, but if you don't know it's there, you don't see it. You drive through it, it's miles and miles and miles. And it's mountains. And there are buildings above ground, but there are masses of buildings underground. Now, one side is the ocean, the Pacific Ocean of San Diego. And there are a lot of practice trainings on the land right in front of the ocean where soldiers use guns, gun practice, sniper practice, and, advance rescue, task, attack, etc. It is said that that is where a lot of the soldiers practiced for the takedown of Osama bin Laden, if you can believe that. Of course, all we have to go on is what we're told because we never actually saw a body. And we were informed as a public, as a humanity, that he had been taken out and his body put into the ocean and he was buried under maritime law, a maritime burial, which I personally, as a regular human being, find that rather strange and rather odd. But I also can't believe that people don't question the origin of the pandemic and the fact that it was something man-made in a lab. and we seem to have forgotten that bit. It's quite disappointing how humanity just is so in a trance and, mind washed. And it's very sad until we remember and we take courage to actually look at these things and put them on the table and say, not on my watch, Mr. or Mrs. I'm going to look into this. So back to the Camp Pendleton in San Diego, California. So I am driving through around 7 at night and it's pitch black. And I've got my window open about this much. I didn't have the guts to open it all the way because it's so dark there. It's so dark driving through Camp Pendleton at night. So the ocean was on my right because I'm going that way, whatever way that is, towards San Diego from kind of LA, Dana Point, Orange County, San Diego. I'm driving along and there's quite a few cars in front of me ahead. And all of a sudden, I see in the sky tons and tons of green lights. Now, at first, like most normal people, I thought, oh, is that helicopters? Is that helicopters out maneuvering and, on night watch or night duty or training missions? Because a lot of helicopter lights at night are green. And then the most extraordinary thing happened. I had this feeling that came over my body. And then this kind of internal rage almost, because there were so many of these green lights and they were moving in formation and then not. And then as soon as I connected and looked at them, I could feel them. I could sense them. And it was really peculiar. And then I was hit with this kind of like rageful, why the hell aren't people throwing their cars on the side of the road and standing and looking at this phenomenon that's happening? And it isn't because I have a special DNA. We've all got special DNA. It isn't because I have signature frequencies that are different to some, not to all, but to some, just like you do. Is it because I have a certain DNA signature frequency, whatever, I'm clairvoyant that I can see these? No, other people saw them too. And so all of a sudden, I'm remembering as well at the same moment when I was in Canada, because I used to live in Canada, Calgary, Alberta. And I remember the time I saw a Lancaster bomber. A Lancaster bomber. It was a beautiful sight to behold. And so as I'm looking at all these many, many, many green lights, and there could have been up to 30 of them, I remember feeling like I felt for a moment when I saw the Lancaster bomber in Canada. And then I was annoyed that people weren't respondez-vous to the lights in the sky. Well, then the next thing that happened, I'm looking at the lights, and I've done this so many times, and I threw out a thought, and I said, I can see you. And as soon as I did that, the lights, some had been buzzing around and different, they stopped. Ooh, they all stopped. And then some in the middle got together like this, and they were moving this quick. It was this quick. And they got together, and it was so obvious they were communicating. And when they did that, I remember thinking, oh my God, it heard me, they heard me, right? Then I'm thinking, oh, Dani, you ditzy blonde banana brain. Oh my God. The next second, one of them shot as fast as you can even imagine. It shot to the side of my car. And I'm driving and I look and there is this thing beside the window. Now, I'm ever so embarrassed because I can't draw. When they handed out artistic talent, I didn't even get to the back of the line. Okay, I'm embarrassed. It kind of looked like this. Please don't laugh. What the hell? What the hell is that? Oh, I shouldn't have shown you that. I swear to God, the color, it was black, green, and yellow. It looked like it was a soft-bodied, it was an organic-looking body, like a wasp. And it was like blue, but it was green and black and yellow, like a wasp or a bee, like black and white, but it had green. and it had a black face and it had eyes. And one of the strangest things about it was it had these dangly legs. They were sort of dangly. It was like, oh, what do we do with these? They just kind of, we don't really need them. They're just kind of, it was like really odd. But it was half the size of my car. So I'm in an SUV off the ground, ML350. Those of you didn't know what that is, you know, kind of the size, just a regular size SUV. And my window's open that much, and it's right there. It is right beside my car, and now it's buzzing, making a very low hum, and it's flying alongside my car, and I shit myself, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, please go away, please go away, please go away. That's what I said to it, because I couldn't believe it. I mean, can you imagine driving along, minding your own business, driving through the spooky Camp Pendleton, when you see all these green lights buzzing around, and you communicate, and then they hear, and they reform, and one comes, and there it is. In a matter of a nanosecond, as soon as I said, please, 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 I'm sorry, please just go away, it went zip, all the way back, straight back again, and then communicated in a little huddle. And then I carried on driving, and, you know, at some point I passed them. And there are a few strange things that I haven't mentioned before, and I've already said more than I've ever shared about that particular experience that I had that was very real. It was very physical. It was 1,000,000% visual, and it was a physical entity, extraterrestrial, organic bodied. Now, here's what I do know. I do know that those beings were alive. They weren't all mechanical. They weren't AI. They were there watching what was happening at the base at Camp Pendleton. I felt that they were watching activity that shouldn't have been taking place. Now, I also feel like the soldiers, the military there, they know exactly what these entities are, these ETs are. They know who they are. They know where they're from. They know about their massive intelligence. And it wasn't like a negative gray hive intelligence, a hive mind. Every single green, black being that I saw, like these giant bees or giant wasps, they had individual intelligence, each one of them. Each one of them. Now, I don't care what wing commander of the highest ilk, I don't care. I'm not in the military. I don't need to care, and I don't. What I do care about is information like this getting in to the public forum. It's our job as humans to put this information out into the field. I'm naming Camp Pendleton, San Diego, California. Masses of underground buildings there, masses of things go on there, lots of different technologies, land, sea, and air, and I saw these beings, and they were real, and they were there. I want you to stay to the end, because I also want to remind you about coming on my channel, sharing your story, sharing your information. Okay, so don't go too far. But back to, I felt and knew that these beings had a purpose. They had a purpose. They were witnessing. They were gathered. It almost felt like there was going to be some kind of a rescue, or maybe the military were going to release one that they had, or they tried to reverse engineer. It felt like that. You know, when something's happening, you don't think with your normal senses. You're so heightened, you know, your sixth sense and above, you're so heightened. And in that moment of terror, where it came beside the car and it went zip, zip, that quick, like up in the flipping sky, it was up, way up in the bloody sky. And when I sent that thought out, it connected, and zip, okay? These were highly intelligent beings. They were alive, they had organic bodies, and they weren't AI, they weren't machine, they weren't drone. No, they weren't drone. And I might be describing something to those of you that have worked with advanced drones. There's drone warfare, there's all kinds of drone technology going on. I'm telling you what I experienced and what I believe. I would love to hear if anybody else has ever had anything like that, has ever seen anything like that, because we must share and we mustn't not share. Also inviting anyone from the military, any other personnel that want to come forward. Hopefully you're not going to have to hide your face, because it's really getting quite tedious. If you feel you're at risk, and maybe don't do it. If you have a permission like JP does, but he's still active duty, maybe you have to cover your face. But we're at the stage now where I think unless you are military, if you're out there putting information into the field like an anon, show your face, mate. We all do. We all take the knocks. We all take the horrible abuses that happen. And that's the other thing. When you do put your information out there, you won't believe the way that some humans behave. It is beyond comprehension. You just cannot believe it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. The untrained mind, the I can't even describe it really, and I'm not going to. It's so boring. And so you need a very strong skin to be able to come out, because you think you can handle it, and then people lie and they say terrible things, and people, even sillier people, believe them. They believe them. So you got to be prepared for that. People aren't using their thinking brains. So anyway, again, just to make the point that this military base, they hire a lot of different people, different ranks, and different duties and different activities. And there's a lot of mystery at this military base, Camp Pendleton. You don't really hear much about it. Now, down the road where I used to live, on the island of Coronado with a C, it's called the Crown Island. It is at the other end of San Diego. So where Camp Pendleton is, it's like Los Angeles, Orange County, Camp Pendleton, miles and miles and miles through the mountains. You'd never know there was a military base there. And you come into San Diego, you go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll hit Coronado Island. And 12 miles from there is Mexico, the Mexican border, where you can enter Tijuana. And lots of people go to the dentist there. Now, Crown Island, the island of Coronado, go over a very long 2.5-mile bridge. You turn right, and there is another military base, absolutely massive. It is on Coronado. It is a nuclear site. It is a place where they have the most advanced submarines. They have a ship they call Flipper or Flip that has a really interesting deck, and it can literally go up like this in the water. They do all kinds of research with it. So those of you that are interested and want to know more about what's happening on your world, Camp Pendleton, Coronado Island, the military base there, these things you are welcome to look at. We are allowed to do it. We should be doing it, because there are too many Muppets on my planet, your planet, our planet, deciding our fates and futures, telling us what to do. They don't have my permission, so I don't give it. All righty? And I'm not consenting. So we need to be talking and sharing information. Okay? All right. Let me see what else I wrote here. Again, it's not just everybody with special DNA or frequency that can see these things or can sense these things. Okay, we're all special. Okay, so don't be a victim or a martyr and tell yourself that you're not, because you are special. You are special. Oh yeah, Bin Laden and the maritime burial. Why? That's a big question mark. That should go back on the table. Okay, so I wanted to tell you again about our conference, which is galacticspiritualinformers.com. You are going to see the greatest speakers you've ever seen in your life. We've got 6 world firsts happening. We've got brand new technology being revealed. Brand new technology being revealed at the Galactic Spiritual Informers, and so much more. Now, my book, Angels, Demons, and Aliens, has true life stories from birth to now. And I know that a lot of you have true stories with these beings, angels, demons, aliens, and ghosts, paranormal. Okay? So we need to be sharing our stories so we can help our brothers and our sisters get confident and stop worrying about, oh, is that the devil? Oh, am I going to hell? No, you're not. There are entities on the planet that we can get rid of in an instant. And the greatest weapon you have is love. It really is. Or throw a Bible under a bed. Bibles can be actually quite useful. A lot of dark entities don't like the Bible. They don't like salt. They don't like sage. They don't like frankincense. And they don't like myrrh and other things. But I don't want to get too far into the tools of divination or love at this stage because I don't want to get too distracted. I do want to invite people to email info@Galactic Spiritual Informers. Send in your desire to either come on my channel here and share a story or two. And if you write a chapter for the next Angels, Demons, Aliens, and Ghosts book, you can put your email or your website at the end, and we'll put that, the stories that get chosen will get put into the book, into the next book. It will look similar to this. And so people can contact you from there. There is no monetary gain. It is about sharing information. I'm funding the book to get more information out. All right. So again, galacticspiritualinformers.com is the website for everything, for every single thing. The speakers we have this year are absolutely incredible. They truly are. It's our third year. The conference is Westminster, Colorado. So you're invited to come on my channel. You're invited to come into the book. You're invited to come to our conference. It's 3 days, September 27, 28, 29. You're invited to whistleblow, tell your story, and know that you are loved. Know that you are loved. It is time. I had a couple of people recently say, well, I have to come and I have to be disguised and people are after me. Please don't bring that to me. Don't bring that to me. Okay, there's 50,000 people with the same idea that they're being hunted. You know, or they can't do this, they can't do that. It's fine. If you feel you can't do it, it's all right. Don't do it. But you don't need to tell me and everybody I work with that either. All right. I do mean that in a loving way. People are very, very touchy at the moment. A lot of you are definitely going through it. A lot of friendships are dissolving instantly. Friendships that you thought you'd have for the rest of your life. And that's because a lot of us, we're not hearing each other. We're on different growth spurts, but it doesn't mean that we're right and the other person's wrong, because the invitation is to take responsibility for two people in a friendship. So a lot of communication is off at the moment. So be aware of that too. And be aware of the way that you hear things. Like really ask her, did she say that? Did she mean that? Choose what you get triggered by. It's a choice. Choose what you get triggered by. All right. Okay. I would love actually, if there's any artists out there, to describe the beings I saw, because I don't know what that is, honestly. That's seriously the best I could do. And it looks nothing like that, except for the shape of the flying bug, wasp, bee with the dangly legs. It was kind of this shape. It really was. So anyway. All right, guys. One final thing to tell you, that if you want to know a lot of what the US missions are, this is Land, Sea and Air, this is Space Force, this is Earth Alliance. This book, I couldn't recommend it highly enough. US Army Insider Missions, Underground Cities, Giants and Space Ports. Dr. Michael Sala interviewed our friend, his friend from 2008, JP. JP is active military. You cannot believe that where the armies and where the militaries go. They have lied and lied and lied to you, me, and everybody else, including all the governments. The governments have all lied as well. I don't think we're that surprised at this stage. They've been going up and down to the moon since before the 60s. They've been going to Mars. Now, if you feel the need to snigger and guffaw, please recognize that you've been brainwashed. You have been programmed to mock it. Well, mocketh ye not. There is way more proof than you can shake a stick at now, okay? So those of you that laugh and mock and think it's hilarious, number one, this is not the channel for you. And number one, also, you're the Nelly now. You know, you're the conspiracy theorist now, because none of us care, because we all know it's true. And this book is absolutely unbelievable. It is stuffed full of JP's missions with the American military. All right, the American military. Now, at our conference, we've got Jean-Charles Moyen, who is French military. There are space programs in every single military. There are 39 countries that have signed accords, all together, all acknowledging space fleets. So, my darlings, the space fleets already exist. And when NASA puts out, oh, the James Webb Telescope found a microbial species, it might be something to do with life on another planet. Be quiet and sit down. You're so embarrassing. We have so much evidence. There is so much advanced technology, and we are all hearing about it. And you're going to get more of it at the conference, Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection. Now, I'm going to leave you with that. My name is Dani Henderson, and I love you. I love humanity, and I'm proud of us, and I'm proud of the way we're ascending, and I'm proud of the raising of consciousness on this planet. I'm happy and proud we're taking all the shitheads down that should never have been in charge, and I'm glad that people are stepping forward and telling their truth. Now, I send you love from my heart to yours, and I will see you soon.